everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We will start the webinar in just about 1 minute. We'll let a few other people gather. So hang tight and we'll be right back with you. All right, thanks for holding. Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. I hope that you're all having a good afternoon. We're excited to have this opportunity to be with all of you today as we share information about our new project focused on emergency preparedness, response, and recovery for CCR&Rs and ultimately for childcare providers. Thank you for your interest in this topic. I'm Holly Nett, and I am the Director of Childcare Emergency Partnerships at Childcare of America. And I'm joined today by two of my colleagues at Childcare of America as well. So we'll just take a moment to introduce, or I'll show you who's all on the webinar with you, and then we'll get down to business and talk about the RFP that you are all interested in. So as you can see on the screen, this is our Childcare Emergency Preparedness team at Childcare of America. We are all Midwest girls embedded in the states that serve this RFP. So we're happy to be with all of you. Like I said, I'm Holly Nett, and I work remotely from an office in Minnesota. Also on the line is Julie Luper-Coates. She's the Director of Emergency Preparedness and Response on our team, and she works remotely in Manhattan, Kansas. And then lastly, we have Jillian Ritter, who is our data analyst and works remotely in Indiana. So Julie and I will be working most closely with you as you go through this RFP process. If you have any questions about the application, questions about what the programming entails, you certainly can reach out to us. And then Jillian, we're happy to have her on our team because she's going to be helping us with the evaluation qualities of this work as we move forward. Picture on the top, I'm the one on the left and Julie's the one on the right. You can go ahead and change the slide, thank you. Wanted to direct you to our website. We do have a dedicated landing page at Childcare of America, and it's childcareprepare.org. You can find a vast majority or a lot of different resources related to emergency preparedness on this website. There's tools for caregivers, there's information and blog posts related to CCR&R efforts with emergency preparedness and response, and just some helpful tips in dealing with different emergencies. So if you haven't had a chance to check out our webpage, we encourage you to do so. I also wanted to direct your attention to it as well, because this is where you'll find the application and the RFP details, as well as the frequently asked questions document for this RFP. So when you go to childcareprepare.org, at the very top of the page, there's going to be in blue text that says opportunities, and then it's enhancing preparedness and response capabilities. If you click on that page, it's going to direct you to all of this information that we're going through today. So if you have any troubles at all, just certainly reach out to us. So like I said, we're happy to have this opportunity to make it available to all of you. Historically, what took place at our office is about 3 years ago, we were approached by a funder to work on emergency preparedness issues with childcare programs by an anonymous philanthropic organization that's based in the Midwest. And they really see the value of working with childcare resource and referral agencies because they value the work that you're doing. They see that you're a trusted resource in your community already. you already have training and resources that you're bringing to child care providers. So in helping advance the work of emergency preparedness, they saw that there was true value in investing in all of you as organizations to deliver this information out to child care providers. They also recognize that you're at the table with a lot of different community groups, and emergency preparedness may be one of many issues that community groups are looking at, but they see that there's value in those established relationships that you already have with those team members as well. So 3 years ago, we were able to launch a program called CCR&Rs as Resilience Hubs, and that had 3 core objectives, which you can see on your screen. The first one was to increase preparedness awareness, training, and resources for all of you as child care resource and referral organizations, to look at your own processes that you have in place and your own knowledge and skills, and doing some assessment on whether or not those are kind of at the level that you want them to be for emergency preparedness, or if there's a lot more that you want to learn about. So really empowering you and bringing you resources to your CCR&R organization so that you can be effective in delivering response and recovery efforts to the providers. The second goal was to increase preparedness awareness, training, and resources for child care providers. So a core piece of what we implemented over the past 3 years was training delivery to child care providers and providing technical assistance to child care providers. So we worked with the selected CCR&Rs to really increase the amount of resources and the quality of resources that were available to providers so that they are ultimately more prepared to care for kids. The last focus was building and strengthening relationships with community preparedness organizations. And that really looked at how to inform traditional partners in emergency preparedness about the needs of child care, and really letting them know what assets that you can bring to the table, some of the resources that you have to help them in identifying where child care programs are if a disaster were to happen. So those are the 3 key objectives of the project that we had over the last 3 years. The recipients of the project over the past 3 years, we were able to choose 3 programs, and we worked closely with Child Care&Rs of Minnesota, which is based in St. Paul, Minnesota. We worked with Child Care&Rs of Kansas, based in Salina, Kansas. And then we worked with the Child Care Resource Referral, or Child Care Resource Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that serves a metropolitan area around Tulsa to deliver these services to child care providers and build partnerships. You can see on this map too where the service area is that our funder wants us to be working in. And they really truly believe that when disasters happen in this part of the country, they're kind of off the radar. They're not like the big hurricanes that you hear about on the coast that are all over the news. When something typically happens in our Midwest states, it may make the news for a day and then it's gone. It's kind of a low attention disaster. So that's really why they want us to focus on this regional area. So that brings us to our new opportunity that we have available, which we are launching in June. We will talk about that next, and I will let Julie Luper-Coates, my coworker, take you through those next steps.
Hi, everyone. This is Julie. We wanted to start this off and talk to you a little bit about the new opportunity and some of the differences between the pilot project over the last couple of years, as well as in comparison to the new opportunity. So we were successful in receiving some additional funding to extend this programming over the next couple of years. The new project is entitled Enhancing Preparedness and Response Capabilities for Early Learning Providers, Families, and Children. You'll see here the project duration begins June 1st of this year and will run for 30 months. So just right at 2.5 years through November 30th of 2021. Again, it's similar to last time. It is a competitive RFP process. And we were able to up this just a little bit. So we have up to 4 CCR&R organizations will be selected and funded during this project. The purpose here, you can see on the screen, it's to integrate emergency preparedness, response, and recovery information and resources into the training and technical assistance practices, establish practices that allow your organizations to serve as resilience hubs, and then strengthen and grow community, statewide, and regional partnerships. So very similar to what it was over the last project period. The overall outcomes, some of them are similar. You'll see number one, the importance of being disaster ready. Selected CCR&R organizations will meet identified criteria to be considered disaster ready. And what this means is that the organization itself would be ready should it be impacted by a disaster. The organization would still be able to provide services to families, childcare providers, and ultimately the community. And then similar to last time, the selected CCR&Rs will be equipped with resources to offer this EPRR training and technical assistance to the providers within their communities. And lastly, the selected organizations will establish cross-sector collaborations within their communities and states, depending on your service area, to work toward integrating childcare needs in all levels and phases of emergency preparedness, response, and recovery. Just to provide a little clarity here, the applicants may request up to $165,000. This is a firm fixed price opportunity, and like I said, with a 30-month period of performance. Indirect expenses are not to exceed 25% of the overall budget. The selected organization will receive quarterly payments upon receipt of invoices outlining the deliverables that you'll put forth in your application. And applicants will submit a proposed 30-month preliminary budget. And as you'll see through the RFP, some travel expectations are outlined there. Eligibility for the applicant organizations are outlined here. The organization must have a 501c3 tax-exempt status with the IRS. Next, the applicant must provide services within one or more of the following 10 states outlined there. And lastly, the applicant must be a current member of Childcare Aware of America in good standing at the time of application, and that needs to be maintained throughout the duration of the project. We'll talk a little bit about the submission process. There are 3 sections, very similar to the last iteration. The first section is Tell Us Your Story. Section 2, Tell Us Your Plans. And within the application, you'll submit section 1 and 2 as one PDF, 5,000 words or less. And then the third section, the appendix, these will be separate PDF uploads, and there's no word limit on that. This will be the copies of your tax-exempt status, staffing plans, resumes of key personnel, letters of support, and a proposed budget. And here, Holly outlined this at the start of the webinar, but here you'll find where to find the online application. So if you navigate to www.childcareprepare.org, you'll come upon the RFP, and it will be, as of right now, it's on the, I believe, the far left side, and then when you click on the opportunity, it will bring you to this landing page. Talks a little bit about the RFP, what to expect, and then you'll see on the right side there, you can download the RFP. The frequently asked questions document is outlined there. You can register for this webinar, and then the Apply Now button is highlighted on your screen. This is just a screenshot of what you will see on the online application. You'll see the agency information, the point of contact information, and then on the right side, you'll see the application documents, and that's what we just chatted about. Your plan and your story, and then the appendices, as well as the proof of tax exempt status, and then your letters of support from potential partners. All of those things are able to be uploaded there. We've outlined some important dates for you here. February 19th, the RFP was released. Today is the webinar overview. And just so you're aware, this webinar is going to be, it is being recorded, and we'll have this up on the RFP landing page within the next couple of days in case you would like to rewatch or look through any of these things. On or before April 1st, the proposals must be submitted. I do want you to note the 5 o'clock Eastern time on April 1st deadline, and those will be via the online portal at childcareprepare.org. The selection committee will review applications throughout April. And then no later than April 30th, the awards will be determined and announced. And the project officially launches June 1st of this year. So now we will pause and ask if anyone has any questions. Please submit those questions through the chat box. You'll see that on your screen. I believe it's to the right of what you're seeing right now. So feel free to ask any questions, or and so that we can provide you any clarification about the RFP or this process as a whole. And then I also want to note, we talked about the FAQ documents. You'll note that the FAQ document, there is a link on the RFP landing page right now, and that will be updated throughout this application process. So you may want to bookmark that and see what your colleagues are asking. We'll, every question that we receive, we will post the answer within a couple days, and you'll be able to go back and see those. So I will pause here to see if anyone has any questions. Okay, the first question that we have is, what if an R&R has received a prior grant? Is it eligible again? Great question. And I will, if anyone has the RFP in front of them, it's actually, let me see what page that is on. This is actually directly addressed on page 3, one of the last bullets. Applicants who have participated in an emergency preparedness initiative within the past 5 years, and this could be CCAOA, Save the Children, or any similar organizations, are asked to describe how this project will enhance the work of the previous grant or opportunity and complete the objectives of this program. So so in short, yes, you can certainly apply. We just ask you to address that within the application. Next question is, can we target a region, or do we have to provide statewide services? Another great question. Both are fine. If you are a local CCR&R providing services in a local community, that is certainly fine. You would, just apply as your service area. Or if you're a statewide organization, you can certainly apply as a statewide organization. The next question is the 5,000 word limit for both sections 1 and 2. Yes. It would be, tell us your story and tell us your plans should be uploaded in one PDF document, 5,000 words or less. And the last question I see here, do you know where or how the kickoff meeting will be held and when? Most likely the kickoff meetings, and these are the meetings that will be to the selected communities. Most likely, they will probably occur before the actual project begins on June 1st. This is just sort of a getting to know us, getting to know you kind of informal meeting. So most likely, they will be in between April 30th and June 1st, or shortly after June 1st. And we would be coming to the selected communities. So we would be coming to the organization's office or a meeting space, in your region. That is all the questions that we have for now. So I will keep pausing and checking the question box. Hearing no questions, I will just wait for a couple more minutes to see if my colleagues have anything that they want to reiterate or share with the group. If not, we can certainly conclude this webinar. And like I said, if you have any questions or need anything, we've got our contact information on the screen there. Probably the easiest way to get a hold of us is that first email address, the preparedness@usa.childcareaware.org. Or you can certainly reach out to Holly or myself with any direct questions. But certainly pay attention to the RFP landing page and the frequently asked questions document. I think that will be a good source of information for you, just to see if you have a question. Most likely somebody else had the same question, and so be sure to continually check that.
Thanks, Julie. This is Holly. I don't see any other questions coming in either. So I think that we just want to thank everybody for their time. It's a short webinar, but hopefully we provided a lot of details for you, and know that we're just a phone call away or an email away from you too if you have questions at all. But we look forward to hearing from all of you. Thanks for your time, everybody.